Hello and welcome back. About a week or two ago, we talked through installing Proxmox Backup Server. Now that you have it installed, you'll probably want to explore some of the features, which is what this video is for, boys. We're gonna be exploring Proxmox itself, or the backup server portion of Proxmox. But before we do that, we need to talk about why you should use Proxmox Backup Server. There's lots of pros to using it. The first is that it's cool, right? It's what the cool kids are using. That doesn't motivate me, but I've slowly learned that people are impressionable. They follow the crowd. To help improve your life, I'm letting you know this is cool to do. So give it a shot. Back up your shit. It's useful. Backups are cool, kids. Remember that. Especially when you change something and you want to roll it back, right? Another pro for Proxmox Backup Server is that it is open source and free, as in beer, right? So it's completely free. You can open it up, edit it, and configure it how you want. You don't have to pay any money for downloading and using it. You will have to pay some money for support, but if you're in a position where you need support, paying money for it will be worth it. Trust me. Another pro for Proxmox Backup Server is incremental and deduplicated backup. What that means is that the backups happen at specific time periods, and when they do, it only backs up the information that is changed. So if you have a virtual machine that hosts files and the server and the contents of those files haven't changed since the last time you ran that backup, congratulations, you're not going to take up more hardware space. So that's a very useful feature. The cool thing about Proxmox Backup Server is that it can also back up non-Proxmox hosts. There's this utility called Proxmox Backup Client that you install on Linux VMs or Linux physical machines, and you can back those up to Proxmox as well. So lots of cool stuff. Perhaps the last feature and the main one we're going to be covering in this video for Proxmox Backup Server is file level restore. Right? There's a few caveats. There's a few caveats with file level restore. As far as I understand it, and if I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me in the comment section down below. If you're running Proxmox Backup Server, you can then do file level restore from LXCs or containers that you're running on Proxmox, or virtual machines that have the Proxmox Backup Client installed and are in the QEMU format. So again, some caveats there for file level restore, but it is somewhat functional. So we're going to be testing that. All right, let's get started with that portion. All right, so in our last video, we made a backup of PVE test, which is right here. We're going to log into this and create some files, and we'll make another backup. We'll do touch file 1, file 2, file 3. All right, all these files should be empty. So what we can then do is go back to backups, make sure we click our PBS backup location, and then we'll run another backup. I'll just have it do its thing real quick. Should take it a few minutes. So our backup is completed. We can verify that by going to Proxmox Backup Server. If you go to Proxmox Backup Server, you then go to data stores and you expand out the name of the virtual machine or container. You'll see the different backup jobs. And this is the most recent one we ran. What we're going to do now is see if what happens if we delete one of those files we just created. So we go back to our lab environment. We list our files, and then we remove file 2. And we list our files again, and you'll see the difference between the first list of files and the second list of files. What if we want to recover the file we just removed? Well, that's easy, in theory. Let's see what happens here. You go to backup, and you'll notice that some of these options are grayed out. But if you go to backup PBS, you get another option, file restore. And under file restore, we should now be able to scroll through our various files. So let's see right here, we got root. Let's expand that out. Let's expand out home and see. Okay, well, first we got to figure out where the file is. So let's go back. We are in root. So let's go to backup, go to PBS, click our most recent backup from here. I see what happened. We clicked the wrong backup. So make sure you're choosing the right backup. We then choose File Restore. We then go to Root, and you'll notice File 2 is now listed there. After you select your file, you'll then be given the option to download the file. You're still going to have to find some way to get it back onto the virtual machine. You can do, SSH it over, secure copy it over, mount the image directly on your Proxmox. There's lots of different ways, right? So this kind of gives you an easier method for you to maybe pull a file or pull a folder that has some configurations inside of it and restore those configurations, or maybe restore like an entire binary or something like that. But it's not as clean as something like Veeam, where you'd have the Veeam agent installed and you'd be able to do a direct file level restore using the Veeam agent. But it is a nice and free alternative. But you can also get Veeam for free too for a year. If you're not aware, if you have a corporate email, you can get a 1-year free home lab use only Veeam license, right? And that's going to let you add, I think it's up to like 10 or 15 machines or something like that, right? Or you could just use Veeam free, which I think lets you do up to 5 machines for free, which depending on how you set things up is very useful. Just wanted to show you this functionality of Proxmox Backup Server. I've been trying to keep these videos quick. I've done longer form videos and people don't watch them, so we're mixing them up. As always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe for more. If you'd like to see other types of content, please leave a comment down below and let me know. We might end up doing some install videos for other types of Linux. I've been doing a series of shorts on different Linux distros, so we might be installing those and playing around with them just to see how they work. It's time to explore some new stuff, so let me know.